I have now come to the point of the yarn where I need to add more yarn. So what you do is you take your needle off and you hold this in place. I've already added my needle to my new piece of yarn, and we'll take it to the end of the yarn. And what you do is you just lay that your new piece of yarn alongside the old piece, and then you'll start wrapping where you left off. You'll just have to keep an eye on where it is that you ended. Sometimes it has a mind of its own, so you just have to keep watching it. Sometimes it gets really off. And it's okay if, like right here, where I've got just like a little bulge, that's okay because by the time you get everything worked in, and once again, even with adding the new piece of yarn, you'll want to keep your stitches rather close together so that it'll be nice and sturdy. And sometimes you get caught up. I'm sorry. This just goes to show you that it's not always perfect, but it'll work out. You just pull it through and then just continue with your wrapping. And I'll continue with this one to show you. And for some people, it's easier to make these strings shorter. I like to keep mine longer just because it gives me a sense of security that the yarn's not going to come out. But of course, a well-made basket, it's not going to come out. It will stay in there. But you just keep wrapping. And take another stitch. Didn't mean to bump my camera, I'm sorry. And once again, then you can see that I'm slowly going up on the side. And usually when we're in an in-person class, there's a lot of chatter going on. So you need to keep an eye on what you're doing, because I have at times lost track when I'm trying to teach my students, because not only are they asking questions, but I teach middle schoolers, and sometimes we get into nice conversations about different things that are going on. So need to keep an eye on, and I hope this camera has been focusing enough that it's okay. But I mean, it's really simple to add on the new yarn. Please do not be intimidated by it. And of course, with this being on video, you'll be able to go back and re-watch what you need to. Just going to keep going a little bit more. And you can see about the length of my new piece of yarn. For some people, it's easier to use a shorter piece. You'll find out which you feel is more comfortable as you go along. I am one of these weird people that I know it gets tangled up, but I enjoy using a longer piece of yarn just because I don't personally care for this adding the new piece process. But there again, as with most art, it's personal preference, and you find out what you enjoy doing as you go along. And I'm showing you this process on a larger piece. I honestly didn't realize how long this piece was until I started doing the videos. But usually, it's not really hard, because by the time you add new thread, you've gotten into the swing of things. And sometimes it's slow progress, but, it doesn't hurt to take your time doing something. I've been finding out here lately that it's good to do things like this for myself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you don't take time to do things that you enjoy, you get bogged down and you get wore out. That's just really not fun. So I'm hoping that learning how to do something like this will help you relax some. And see, now I have come to the end of the inner yarn that was the new yarn. But that's all there is to it, to adding a new piece. It's just lining them up and keep winding. So there you have it. There's the new added yarn.